Hello everyone, in this video we're going to do equations and inequalities with absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0. The absolute value of -3 is 3, and the absolute value of 3 is 3. So whenever you take the absolute value of something, your answer will always be positive because distance is measured with positive numbers. For example, you wouldn't measure a table and say that it's -2 feet long. Let's show what I mean by distance from 0. So the absolute value of -3, we go to -3 on our number line. And I go over 1, 2, 3 places to get to 0. So that means the absolute value of -3 is +3. Now let's do the same thing for +3. Starting at +3, we want to go to 0. We go over 1, 2, 3 places. So the absolute value of +3 is also +3. We do have some rules. For any a value greater than 0 in any algebraic expression, capital X, if the absolute value of the algebraic expression equals a positive a, because greater than 0 is positive, then you can drop your absolute value bars and make two equations. You'll take your algebraic expression, set it equal to positive a, and take your algebraic expression, set it equal to negative a. You're about to equal to negative a here because you got rid of the absolute value bars. And this will give you your two solutions for your absolute value. For our first one, our algebraic expression is x. We are equal to a +3/2. So we can split up into our two equations. I get x equals a +3/2 and x equals a -3/2. There's nothing to solve for. If we needed to solve, we would solve. Now let's check our answer. The absolute value of 3/2 does equal 3/2. The absolute value of -3/2 does equal 3/2. So it works. And whenever you draw your absolute value bars, make sure they don't look like ones. If you need to make them larger or thicker, do that, as long as you know they're not ones. Next, we have the absolute value of x equal to -2. We are equal to a negative a value, which does not meet our rule, which means we cannot complete this, because that's saying the absolute value of something equals a negative number, which we already said we cannot do. So there is no solution. There's nothing we can plug in for x here that will make this a true statement. I do apologize for the automatic zooming. The camera does that on its own. Next, solving for absolute value equations. We isolate, there we go, the absolute value expression. Use the absolute value property to separate into two equations without absolute value bars. Solve and check. So for our first one, we are equal to a negative, however the bars are not isolated. So let's isolate them first. I'm going to add my 5 over. Gives me the absolute value of 2x minus 1 plus the absolute value equals -3 plus 5 is a 2. Now the bars are isolated. We are equal to a positive a value. So this is our algebraic expression, and this is our a. We meet our rules. So that means we can make this into two equations. We get 2x minus 1 equals 2. Notice no absolute value bars. And 2x minus 1 equals -2. Again, no absolute value bars. We're then going to solve for x in each equation. So I add my 1. I get 2x equals 3. Divided by 2, x equals 3/2. Do the same thing to the other one. We add our 1, I get 2x equals -1, divided by 2, we get x equals -1/2. It's crazy how just a single sign change can completely change your answers. Let's check. Whenever you check, you always plug into the original. Let's start with x equaling 3/2. It is possible to get a negative x value, as long as when you plug it in that you get a true statement. So we get the absolute value of 2 times 3/2 minus 1 plus the absolute minus 5 equals -3. Here the 2's cancel. 3 minus 1 is 2, so we get the absolute value of 2 minus 5 equals -3. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 2 minus 5 does equal -3, so that means 3/2 will work. Now let's check that x equals a -1/2. I get the absolute value of 2 times a -1/2 minus 1 plus the absolute minus 5 equals negative 3. 2 times the negative half gives us a negative 1. So get the absolute value of negative 1 minus 1. Minus 5 equals negative 3. That becomes absolute value of negative 2. Minus 5 equals negative 3. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2, and 2 minus 5 does equal negative 3, so it also works. So our two solutions are 3 over 2 and a negative half. Y'all can pause the video and try number 4 on your own and see if you get the same thing. Number 4, we need to isolate our absolute value bars. I'm going to first subtract this 5. It gives me a negative absolute value bar of 4x minus 3, close absolute value, equals a negative 3. You cannot distribute this negative because they're not parentheses. It is negative 1 times whatever comes out of these absolute value bars. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I divide both sides by negative 1. Gives me the absolute value of 4x minus 3, close absolute value, equals negative 3 divided by 1 is a positive 3. With the absolute value of our algebraic expression equal to a positive a. Which means we can go to our next step. We're going to make our two equations. So we take the inside, set it equal to a positive a, and we take the inside, set it equal to a negative a. Again, dropping those absolute value bars. Now we can solve. I add my 3. I get 4x equals 6. Divide by 4, and we get x to equal. If we reduce that by 2, we get 3 over 2. Next one, I add my 3. I get 4x equals 0. Divide by 4. 0 divided by anything is 0. Now, let's check our solutions. And check that x equals 3 over 2. So I get 5 minus absolute value of 4 times 3 over 2 minus 3, because absolute value equals 2. Let's see, that 2 goes away. That 4 becomes a 2 with cross reducing. Running out of space. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3, so that becomes 5 minus whatever this absolute value is, which is 3. I'm not saying the absolute value of 3 is negative 3, I just brought this minus over. Equals 2, 5 minus 3 is 2 is true. Now let's check that x equals 0. I get 5 minus the absolute value of 4 times 0 minus 3 equals 2. 0 times anything is 0. So I get 5 minus the absolute value of negative 3 equal to 2. Becomes 5 minus, the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. 5 minus 3 does equal 2, so they both work. So our solutions are 3 over 2 and 0. Did you get it right? Now that we're done with equals, we'll talk about inequalities. We've dealt with inequalities before. Whenever you deal with inequalities, you need to write your answer in interval notation to show all your possible solutions. We do have a couple of cases, if you want to call them that, a couple different rules, and it depends on what way your original inequality symbol is facing in your absolute values. For our first one, case 1, if the absolute value of your expression is less than a, you can also use less than or equal to. Then you're going to use the rule that negative a is less than your function is less than a. Again, if there's the or equal to, put the or equal to's with it. Your second case is if the absolute value is greater than your a, it's also for greater than or equal to, then you're going to split it up to be your expression is greater than a or your expression is less than negative a. Again, you can use it or equal to. To help you remember these, notice here your x stays less than a. Here your x is still less than your positive a. Just the other way for the negative. And then here, we are greater than our a, and we say greater than the a, so it stays true. For our first one, x is less than, sorry, not x, the absolute value of x is less than 5. We have a less than symbol. That's going to be our case 1. As long as you know what to do, you're fine. You don't have to put case 1 or case 2. So we have our algebraic expression is less than a. That means we're going to split this up to be negative a is less than our expression is less than our a. So I get negative 5 is less than x is less than 5. X is solved for. We can draw our number line. We have negative 5 and 5. If you want, you could split this up into an and. We have negative 5 is less than x, and x is less than 5. And look for the overlap. Or, since both of the inequalities are less than, you can just read your inequality and see that x falls between the negative 5 and 5. So then when you shade between the negative 5 and 5. Our inequalities are less than symbols. That means they get parentheses. You may also see them use open circles. So we're going to do our interval notation of our shaded region. We start at negative 5 with a parentheses, and we stop at positive 5. If you plug in anything between negative 5 and 5, not including those two numbers, but really, really close to them, you'll get a true statement for your inequality. Number 6, the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to 7. This will be a case 2. Notice it's using the or equal to, so we need to use the or equal to. So our function is x, our a is 7, and we are less than or equal to it. That means we're going to use the rule of our function is greater than or equal to a, don't forget the or equal to, or our algebraic expression is less than or equal to negative a. That gives us x is greater than or equal to 7, or x is less than or equal to negative 7. Remember, or means you want it all. You want everything that is shaded. Draw my number line. I have negative 7 and 7. X is greater than or equal to positive 7. I shade to the right. X is less than or equal to negative 7. X is smaller. X gets smaller to the left. We have the or equal to, so we use our brackets. We don't need an overlap for this because it's an or. It just has to be true for one of them. Do our interval notation. I get x as an element. All the way to the left is a negative infinity. We hit our brick wall at negative 7. We put a union to pick back up. We pick up with a bracket at 7 and go off to infinity. So for these, you do include the numbers, the negative 7 and the 7. Next one. This time we have a little more for our function, or less than or equal to our a value. If your absolute values are not isolated for these, you need to isolate them first before performing your rules. Anytime you multiply or divide across your inequality by a negative number, it will flip your inequality symbol, so do keep that in mind. So for this one, absolute values by itself, we're less than or equal to our a, so this will be a case 1. We're going to do our function. Sorry, we're going to do negative a, there we go, is less than or equal to our function is less than or equal to our a. So we get negative 14 is less than or equal to 3x plus 5 is less than or equal to our 14. If you want to split this up into two inequalities, you can and solve separate and then look for the overlap. I'm just going to leave it as is. Looking in the middle, we want to isolate the x, so we got to get rid of the 5 first. So I subtract 5 from all sides. Negative 14 minus 5 is a negative 19. Bring down that 3x. Then we got 14 minus 5 is 9. Next, we need to get rid of that 3 from the middle. That's 3 times x, so we divide by 3. We get negative 19 over 3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then we can draw our number line. We have negative 19 over 3 and 3. Both of these symbols have the less than in them, so x is between the two numbers. So I shade between the two numbers. They have or equal to, so I use brackets. And I can do my interval notation. I get x as an element from bracket negative 19 over 3, 3 with a bracket. If y'all want, you can pause the video and try number 8 on your own, and then come back and check. Number 8. Absolute value bars are isolated. We are greater than 4. This is going to be a case 2. We have our function. The absolute value of it is greater than our a. So we're going to use the rule of our function is greater than a, or our function is less than negative a. So I get x minus 2 over 5 is greater than 4, or x minus 2 over 5 is less than negative 4. Let's solve for x. I need to get rid of my fractions. I have a 5 in the denominator. The opposite of division is multiplication, so we multiply both sides by 5. That gives me x minus 2 is greater than 4 times 5 is 20. And I add my 2, and I get x is greater than 22. Do the same thing over here. We times by 5. That gives me x minus 2 is less than negative 4 times 5 is a negative 20. I add my 2, and x is less than a negative 18. We can draw a number line. Remember, this is an OR, so we want it all. I have negative 18 and 22. For the first one, x is greater than 22, x is bigger, I shade to the right. Next one, x is less than negative 18, x is smaller, I shade to the left. They do not have the or equal to's, so they get parentheses. Again, we don't need an overlap because it's an or. Do the interval notation. I get x as an element. All the way to the left is negative infinity, and we hit a brick wall at negative 18 with the parentheses. We pick back up, so we put a union, and we drive around to our next side, which is at the 22 with the parentheses, and we go off to infinity. How'd you do?